right, guys, I'm here on the toast again today, feeling blessed, lucky to be here. They skipped me last time. I think people are tired of hearing from me once in a while, but that's all right. Every time you got to change it up. So today I've had a great day. I'm here with Michelle Martin. She is from the great state of Texas.
That's right.
I connected with Michelle. I guess the new way to connect with people is Instagram.
Yep. New wave.
I don't know if that's good or bad. She has a interesting story. She is networking to farmers, primarily in Texas, but she's really branching out she's talking earlier to Illinois, to other states. She's in California. She's in Yuma. She is going around and seeing what farmers are up to and what they're doing and the cool things they're doing. And she reminds me a little bit of the Ag Center. She is trying to influence people to understand that ag is cool and she doesn't have to do this. So she is doing it. Yeah, of course, I hope to make a little money, not too much, but doing it really to educate. And I think she's really proud of what she's doing. She should be. If you follow her on Instagram, AgMag STX, South Texas. That's I asked her what that was today. Or she has her own magazine. She has her own YouTube, as well as a label, Farmer Who, which started in March. We'll get into that. But she is differentiating herself from the normal people in ag right now. And I think it's incredible. I'm drawn to that because I look at, if you follow what I guess I have a lot of influence over, which is the Ag Center, we're trying to make ag different. So first of all, I want to tell Michelle, thank you for coming. You took a long trip. You did not know that San Jose is closer than LA. So she flew into San Jose, then flew to LA, and then drove here. She could have she probably could have cut out 4 hours.
That's right. I could have.
But she's here. One thing I noticed about her, talking to her, I haven't even talked to you that much. It's just like, okay, I'm coming. I like that attitude. But I'm like, okay, well, can we help you out with this? No, I'm good. I'm good. She's just got that attitude that I think is infectious for somebody like myself. I really like people who are a doer. Just, I got it. I'm going to take care of it. And so one way or another, we're going to get into it later, but that something prompted her in her lifestyle to have that type of attitude, that type of infection, that type of desire to be good at what she does. So Michelle, first of all, one of the most important things to me is tell me about your family. I know you are married and you have a little son.
I do.
So that is how I like to start everything out because that is the most important part.
Absolutely. Well, like you said, I'm from Texas and I grew up in the most southern tip of Texas. So any farther south, you're going to hit Mexico, which when I was younger, I went to Mexico all the time.
Why not?
Now, not so much. Anyways, I actually grew up with a single mother. She was an entrepreneur herself. She owned a restaurant for 27 years, and it was one of the most popular restaurants in the Rio Grande Valley.
What kind of food?
It had a mix of everything.
Are you a good cook?
I am a good cook.
Okay.
But do I like to cook is the question.
That's a good question.
No.
But your husband, I'm sure, makes you do it.
Yeah, he doesn't make me, but he tells me to.
Yeah, yes.
So anyways, grew up with a single parent. And basically, I grew up in a restaurant watching her work and watching her run this successful business. And I had a few stepdads here and there, but no real a stable father figure in my life. Only child, so no brothers and no sisters. So kind of just grew up in the restaurant business. Did not grow up in agriculture whatsoever.
Okay. Is around where you guys' restaurant was there a lot of ag or?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So where I live, all the cities kind of run together.
Okay.
And so you'll find in the Central Valley is what we call it. The Middle Valley is where a lot of the vegetables are grown. But there's ag all over the Rio Grande Valley, which is the reason why I kind of started to do what I did. People didn't realize there was.
So what was interesting, like I said, I did not get to talk to Michelle too much before she came out here, but I'm kind of watching her Instagram and things like that, and I'm just like, where it feels like she's in California.
Exactly.
And you got watermelons, you got all these different cropping deals, and I'm like, there's something else going different. So in our conversations, I'm realizing there is a lot of produce in Texas. I'm familiar because of my irrigation company. We're working on some citrus stuff in Texas, but there's a lot more going on there than I think I knew about. And you say Central Valley, so it kind of reminds me of California a little bit. So touch base on that.
And a lot of people talk about it being, just like a mini California almost when it comes to crops. Mm-hmm. A lot of different in different ways. I always say living in the Rio Grande Valley is like living in a completely different world.
Okay.
But we grow over 50 varieties of vegetables down there. So from your basic carrots, potatoes, to your exotics like bok choy, an Indian herb called methi leaf. There's just all kinds of stuff that we grow down there that people didn't realize. And to be honest with you, I didn't realize until I started my magazine and got heavily involved in my Instagram. And as you've seen, I take time out of every day to drive around to some local farm and show what we grow there. I mean, we even grow Brussels sprouts, celery, spinach.
Over there, can they double crop, or is it more of a 1 year type of deal? Because like Salinas Valley, they'll get 3 crops a year.
Yes.
I mean.
Yeah, no, there's over 50 varieties planted at one time. And for example, like cilantro, we grow cilantro. After it's harvested, it'll regrow itself in 2 weeks. So they get multiple harvests off of that one seed. So.
Okay. Awesome. So, but before Ag Mag took place, before, I guess after your restaurant career, did you ever wait?
I did. That's how I paid my way through college. In fact, I started working at my mom's restaurant when I was 5.
Okay.
Bussing tables.
I got it. My dad put me to work at a very young age too. I hated him then, but I bless him now.
Absolutely.
Right. So you get out of high school, you go to Texas A&M.
I did.
What'd you study?
A lot. I changed my major 5 times.
Okay.
I graduated with agricultural leadership and development.
But why did you go to ag? Because you're raised in a restaurant,
right?
But you're around ag.
So why did I go to an ag school?
Who influenced? Well, Texas seems like ag, right?
Yeah.
I've been there. I love Texas. I love Austin. I've been to Dallas with my wife. We really enjoy it. Fort Worth. I've gotten nice cowboy boots made there. I enjoy it there. But what made you go into ag? Was it the school, or was it something that happened to you in your life?
Pretty much. Well, I married a farmer, but I had several jobs out of college. Originally, I wanted to be a news reporter. And whenever I started,
kind of are though.
Well, I guess in my own way.
Yeah.
But I wanted to report the news. I remember being a kid and sitting there with my little karaoke machine and imitating. At the time, it was Access Hollywood or Extra, And so I would sit there and practice. And whenever I got out of college and worked at the news station, I was an assistant producer. And I vaguely remember my manager telling me, "You don't have the look, you don't have the voice. This is not the job for you. So we're going to make you be an assistant producer." So off I went to be an assistant producer. Didn't like it. The hours were too erratic for my age, I felt like. I would go in at noon and I wouldn't get out till about 11 o'clock.
So you couldn't party?
Pretty much, yeah. I had no life. And so basically I said, forget this. And I looked for a job and I found a job selling mobile homes. That was the worst job I have ever had. I made $100 a week and I worked 12-hour days, 6 days a week.
So it just doesn't add up.
No,
right?
It doesn't. It was all pretty much commission based.
Okay.
And
so you weren't a good salesman?
No, I was not. Yeah.
You told me earlier today you can sell though.
Yeah, not mobile homes where I live. It's a little tougher there.
Yeah, there's not too much. There's not too much interest in mobile homes.
No, there was not. But I was desperate for a job, and I had to support myself somehow. Which $100 a week really wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, so you're still asking somebody for money, right?
Right. And so basically, I quit that job, and I went and worked for a citrus company, which at the time was called Rio Queen, and they eventually got bought out by Wonderful. And so I only worked there for a year doing their marketing and advertising and decided, okay, they're about to sell out. So I went and worked for a private school and a church and a childcare. It was all 3 into 1.
Okay, cool. How long were you there?
3 years.
3 years. And 3 long years. You're working there. You're probably
long
That's
years.
not where you feel tied down, right?
Yes.
So that's when an idea came to your head, right?
Yeah, it wasn't so much feeling tied down. It was more that I was bored. I think that after I had completely redone their entire website, their whole marketing plan,
Okay.
there was just nothing left for me to do. And being an only child and being raised the way that I was, I'm extremely ADHD. And when I'm not challenged, I get bored and I get in trouble. So
Yeah.
I knew that I was just becoming very complacent and I wanted to do something about it. So I'm religious and I just prayed and prayed to God, like, get me out of here. And finally, after 3 long years, the idea for the magazine popped in my head.
Or God came down and let you out.
Yeah.
I agree with that. God has a special place in knowing where we should be.
Yes.
A lot of times we are in the wrong place, right?
Absolutely.
And I feel that way too, Michelle. I believe you seem really enthusiastic about everything you're doing. You're, like coming out here just on a whim. Like, I'm going to come out there and do this. I want to see what the Ag Center, I know tomorrow you're going to be with another company, and just that type of attitude is what takes people. And I think a lot of young people are missing that adventurous entrepreneur mindset of trying things that are out of their comfort zone. Did you feel out of your comfort zone when you start? So let's talk Ag Mag.
Okay, the magazine.
Tell me about Ag Mag and tell me the experiences, the highs and lows of starting that.
Okay, so yeah, basically, whenever the big man upstairs gave me that idea, I walked into my boss's office and I said, I quit. I said, give me my 2 weeks. And they begged and pleaded for me to stay. And I said, I will stay, but I'm only going to work part-time because I'm starting my own thing. And so that went on for about a month until they realized that I was using their time and their money to start my own venture, right? So I basically started my business with $200 in my wallet and I made a fake magazine. And I asked he's my now husband, but at the time my fiance, I said, you're involved in agriculture. Take me around to all the agricultural businesses. I'm going to ask these people to invest in me. So here I am making this fake magazine. And I had my graphic designer that I used to work with at the Citrus Center. Okay. I hired him and he designed this fake magazine, had 4 people invest in me to start off. My first magazine was 24 pages with 4 advertisers. So you can imagine no money was made. Yep. Right? And after this...
About as bad as selling mobile homes.
True. Very true. There's a lot of truth to that statement. So basically, after that, the first one came out. The second one was like the floodgates opened. People realized, wow, she really hit a niche market here. And they just started coming in. The articles, the advertisers, and it just started growing from there. And 7 years later, here I am.
Yeah, but over the it just didn't happen like that. That sounds well, right?
Right.
It's like looking at the place we're at today. My father-in-law, when he started, it just didn't happen. Went from a 4 million pound producer to a 130 million pound producer in almonds. There's a lot of trials that go along the way, and I think those speed bumps. This podcast to me, Michelle, you're kind of asking me, well, what's our goal in it? I don't always have goals or visions, and anything I do, I may kind of have the same personality as you, just kind of, there's never enough. But what I do try to reach is people or young people, whether it's a man or a woman, who wants to do something in their life, right? Whether being an employee of somebody or whether starting their own thing. It's really hard when I hire people that are working in another field, like you were working at a church or a school. It's really hard to get that person to say, I'm willing to drop everything I'm going to do and go do something that maybe is uncomfortable, possibly won't be successful.
I think that being uncomfortable, though, is when people grow.
I fully agree with you.
Yeah.
And the ones who are going to be successful really blossom. Really blossom. So tell us about when you started the Ag Mag, some of your biggest trials or times
Okay.
There had to be a time where you said, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. There was. I remember when I first started, here I am, this tiny blonde girl walking in who didn't grow up on a farm. And so a lot of these people that I asked to invest in me are like, we're not going to give you our money when we don't have a tangible product, first of all, to see.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, you don't know a lick about farming. And which I did, but not as much as I know now. We'll put it that way, right? But at that point, it was kind of like, well, what am I doing? I just sit here and jumped out of a job where I had a safe income to now I'm not making anything. And so these people really did get in my mind. And I had to draw that line in my mind and say, if you want something, it's going to happen. Someone once told me, if it's meant to be, it's up to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep going. And I remember this one time, this man told me, I asked him to advertise, and he said, this magazine will never make it. And he looked at me dead in the eyes and said, you will never make it. Well, after my 2-year anniversary, I wrapped up that magazine, put it into a box, wrapped it up with a little bow, and set it on his desk. And I said, here, Merry Christmas. And he opened up the gift, and I said, remember, I'll never make it. And I walked out.
How did he feel? How good did you feel?
You know what? He advertises still with me to this day.
Really?
He does.
What does he do? Maybe you don't want to say right now.
Yeah, we're not going to make that public, but
Yeah.
I don't want to call him out. But yeah, he still advertises, and we actually developed a friendship after that. But it was people who tell me that I can't do something are the people that they fuel my fire. They're the ones that I want to prove wrong.
I feel you.
That was a major trial. Now that's a little minor compared to some of the larger trials that I had. If you want me to talk about those, I can.
I like hearing that.
Okay. So. Well, so my third edition of my magazine, the magazine is bi-monthly, so it comes out every other month. And at this point, the magazine had reached about 80 pages.
Okay.
My husband really wanted to have a kid. I wasn't set on having a child yet, but we did. And so I was pregnant. I was 16 weeks pregnant with my son. And my mom actually passed away. She was in the hospital. I had to make that call to let her go. When she lost her business, she became severely depressed, and she died of cirrhosis of the liver. And so for a long time, it was really hard for me to be able to talk about that. I felt ashamed. I didn't want to associate with someone, call that my parent. But I finally accepted it and realized that it was what was helping me grow. Mm-hmm. But at that time, so I'm pregnant, 16 weeks pregnant. My mom died. I had to have an emergency surgery, and there was something wrong with my pregnancy, an internal problem. And so at that point, I just didn't want to continue on my business. I had larger things. And being an only child and no family, I had to plan my mom's funeral, speak at my mom's funeral, do the whole 9 yards. So can you imagine having a first-time pregnant mom? So hormones are flying, and then I'm running a business. So that was a huge trial, and to push through and to prevail through that was really strenuous.
I'm glad you did.
I'm glad I did.
So that was 4 years ago.
Yes, 4 years ago. Well, no, it'd be in 5 years, because my son is 5 now.
You've talked to today, in the time I've got to spend with you, you've talked a lot about your mother. Mm-hmm. You talked about her hard work, her mentorship towards you. What you just said on something bad that might have happened, regardless, she's taught you so many things.
She has.
The trials and tribulations of businesses are what everybody's going to feel. I felt like I felt that this year in my business. Mm-hmm. We always expect crops to happen, prices to stay up, and it's not all fun and games, right? And that's part of what my banker told me, this is what makes you strong. Mm-hmm. This is where people shine. And this is something that you're going to learn from in the future. And I hope that is the case. I believe that is the case. I believe God has a plan for us. He puts us in situations. He's putting you and me together here today to learn from each other. I do. A lot of people want to start like you have started your magazine. I've wanted to start many businesses along the way, and many people have told me you're crazy, you're an idiot.
Yep.
75% of that is true.
Yeah.
But however, if you're strong enough mentally, you can take the beatings, you can take the downs, and you just have to be positive
Yeah.
if you want something in life. Right?
Someone once told me you have to have tough skin, but don't ever let your heart get hard.
I feel like Texans have good sayings.
Yeah. I've had a lot of mentors over my days that have kept me going.
I just feel like Texan people have good sayings.
Yeah.
They have that good accent. Y'all, you said that a few times today.
Y'all.
And California's, we just don't have anything like that. You know, nothing that special. We're just kind of common folk.
I love living where I do. And, you know, you're talking about having a hard year. My husband farms and also works for Helena Chemical. And we got hit with a hurricane and then a freeze that we haven't seen since 1989.
Wow.
And so we lost all our vegetables, all our citrus pretty much. I mean, so farming is a gamble. Anything involved in agriculture, it doesn't necessarily just have to be farming. You know, it can be ranching or working at the FSA office or the bank. Who cares? Everyone has their challenges. And if life were easy, I mean,
we'd all do it.
What kind of world would we live in? You know?
Yeah. And if everybody worked as hard as yourself, or I don't work as hard as I used to, but you know, it would be really tough.
Right. It would.
So that's what makes it fun about working every day, right? I mean, you know, my father-in-law's sitting there holding my son, and he always says, hey, if everybody, not that we're smart, but if everybody wanted it as bad as you or did that, we'd have a tough world.
Yeah.
Right. And I praise that there's not that many people who want it that bad.
Yeah.
Majority of the people want a 9 to 5, right? Majority of the people want it. I swear they make up a new holiday every year. You show up on a Monday, you're like, nobody's here. What holiday is it? I don't know.
It's soft day.
They
We're
made
celebrating it, you know?
They made one up. So it is really incredible to see people who are taking passion in what they're doing. You also started something in March.
Yes.
Farmer Who. Tell me about that and how that came to your mind.
Sure. So Farmer Who basically is a QR code that can go on watermelons, onions, any type of produce.
Okay.
We eventually plan on going into beef and dairy and chicken, poultry. When I say chicken, I meant poultry. But basically, we want to give that consumer the ability to see where their food came from. I feel like there's a huge disconnect between the consumer and the producer. So people are...
Doesn't food grow in the grocery store?
Yeah, I mean, most people think that. You would be surprised. You know what? I actually worked for the Farm Bureau for about 2 days a week for about 6 months. Just voluntarily, I'd go around with them and teach children about where their food came from. Guess what the most common answer was when I asked them where cotton came from?
Grocery store. Oh, no. Cotton.
They told me the carnival that it was cotton candy.
Cotton candy. You got to be kidding me.
And they were dead serious. And I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is our future. What are we doing?
Seriously.
So basically, Farmer Who, going back to that disconnect, gives the consumer the opportunity to meet that producer, meet that grower.
Was this your idea?
It was a joint effort.
Okay.
I basically had started the TV show after the magazine.
Okay.
And I had failed miserably in that plan. And so
Wait. Planning the TV show?
Yes.
Why?
So I had started off with the 30-minute episode, and I was paying almost $10,000 a month for 2 episodes. And then I didn't have the sponsors coming in. And when I started the show, I had the mentality that I was going to make a profit just like the magazine. So I was already in that successful mindset. And I failed miserably. No one wanted to support a TV show. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. And I finally realized, 1, no one wants to watch a 30-minute educational show. And 2, no one watches TV anymore. Everything is streaming. And if it is TV, it's DVR'd and they're fast-forwarding past commercials.
For sure.
So why are these companies going to want to sit here and invest X amount of money for something that people aren't going to see?
I agree.
And so that's when I started really getting heavy into my social media, hitting up the YouTube, hitting up all those platforms. And I'm 34, about to be 35. So, you know, that's all new stuff to me. I'm not one of the hipsters.
Yeah.
And so I really had to mold myself and say, okay, what is the big deal? Well, I got heavily involved into Instagram where we connected.
Yep.
Like I said, YouTube picked up. And so I dropped it airing on our local ABC channel. And at that time, I had put our family in severe debt by trying to make the TV show work. Kind of like beating a dead wall.
Okay.
And so I walked into my friend's company. His name is Will Steele. He owns a produce brokerage. And I said, look, give me some business advice. I got to make money. I've got to take my family out of this debt I put us in. And he said, well, let's brainstorm. And we both kind of came up with the concept together. And he's pretty much my partner in this and my, silent backing. And we took off with it. And we started it during COVID. We're crazy.
So how do you approach Farmer Who?
So basically how I approach it is, are you asking me like pretty much how it works?
How it works, and then how do you sell it?
So it's just that QR code. You don't have to download an app. You put your camera onto that code and a 1-minute video pops up.
Okay.
It's that simple. You can do it at home. You can do it at the grocery store.
Okay.
And basically when I sell it is I want to tell, whether it be a marketing company or a produce brokerage or the farmer themselves, do you want to tell your story? Farming has been given such a bad rap in all this time that's gone by. Don't you want to clarify yourself and tell the world that you're not going to feed them something that you're not going to eat yourself?
Absolutely.
It's so easy to get on Google and to type something in and someone's going to believe it in the snap of a finger.
Yep.
Just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true.
Yep.
So why not hear from the source themselves?
I agree.
And that's kind of how I sell it. And, we take care of the stickers. We take care of all the marketing, the production, which I have an awesome producer named Aaron. And
where are most of your clients from?
for Farmer Who,
Yeah.
basically they're from all over. We've done Arizona, we've done Colorado, and we've done Texas.
Okay.
So
Is
and
it
it's
growing rapidly?
well, no, I wouldn't say rapidly. I didn't want it to grow too rapidly because I wanted to start off like a soft launch to see where we had cracks in our foundation. I don't believe in starting a business on a cracked foundation.
Yeah.
You got to start a business on a solid foundation. And so that soft launch helped us identify, okay, where we were weak. We need to really strengthen this and we need to strengthen that.
Okay.
And so now that COVID is kind of, I don't want to say lightened up because I'm sure people will disagree with me. But now that COVID has been around, we have kind of started picking up now. And it's
Okay.
it was vegetable season till the freeze.
Yeah. Yeah. What, how are you approaching it in California?
We have done, we do have a couple in California.
Okay.
They're not finalized yet, but we are kind of starting to make that reach and I'm starting to make the marketing campaign and we'll launch it here pretty soon.
Now,
So,
can you do that on an almond box or a
Yeah.
pistachio?
absolutely. You
I
can
like
do it
that.
on,
Have you tried in the nut business yet?
I'm looking at the source right now. Would you like to start?
Like, you need to talk
Where'd
to
your
the big-
dad
you
go?
need-
Your
yeah, You
father-in-law?
need to talk to the big man. I do think that's interesting. I do think that's something that is seriously missing right now that
Yeah.
everybody wants to know is, where did my food come from?
Absolutely. And there's such a huge disconnect in it.
Yeah.
People just don't realize.
And I think, like I could see my wife checking that out. Like she's interested in everything that goes into our
Yeah.
kids. It doesn't have to be organic,
Right.
but she just wants to know, was it grown right or whatever it is. You
Yeah.
know?
Sometimes on my Instagram, I go into the grocery store or I've even done it in the airport when I'm traveling and I'll ask random consumers questions like, where did your food come from? Or do you buy organic? Or do you buy non-organic? And the answers that they give me, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I asked someone one time, do you buy GMO or non-GMO? Well, I buy non-GMO. Well, why? I don't know, because that's what I'm told. From who? The internet. There's-
Exactly.
And it's crazy. And these larger companies use the non-GMO and GMO as a marketing
A
ploy.
scapegoat, yeah, to
Yep.
create more value. There is so many different trends. Like I grow organic. I just think it's I don't even know what to say. I just think it's kind of a load of shit in a little
Yeah.
bit. I'm sorry to organic producers. I am an organic producer. I do it, hedges my bet on a certain amount of my crops.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the quality of the food is worse. I don't think it's a sustainable way to feed our country. I believe there's other ways that we can look to improve our food, improve our ground, improve our world. And it's not going to be done organically, my
Mhm.
personal opinion.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's sustainable, right? We do need...
Well, my husband works for a chemical sales, fertilizer
Yeah,
company. So
then
you
he's
know where
not-
I'm going.
He's not going to be fully organic.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have a job, you know what I mean? But we do need chemicals. We do
Mhm.
need It's just like in our healthcare system, we do need, certain things to help. It would be, we'd have a lot of people not living if we didn't have medicine or ability to treat things.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that we have to look at that from the outside perspective as growers, as producers, as outside consumers, to look at that we need to be able to make this world a better place. We want to feed people. We want to give them quality food. We want to do the right thing. I think that's what you're going around doing right now. I think it's going to, I really hope I had a great day having fun with you.
It was fun.
People will be able to see her stuff, I'm sure, on the Ag Center, as well as, of course, her YouTube and Instagram and magazine.
Just wait till tomorrow when I'm well rested.
There
You're
you
going to
go.
see the real energy.
Yeah, there you go. But you're going around creating value to a consumer that they actually don't have to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
They get to go on your Instagram and see, hey, so-and-so is growing that way. Like, to actually learn what farmers are doing. And I think that's a big misconception right now.
Yeah.
What we're actually doing. It just somehow appears.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And farmers do a lot. They work most of them work pretty hard. If not, they pay somebody to work pretty hard. Right? So it's a great thing what we get to be able to do. And just like you're doing in Texas, it was exciting to hear what you guys are doing over there. I'm really sorry about the disaster.
Fun.
Yeah, it is, but it still really hurts. Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in that situation right now.
No. I have some really good friends, and usually when you see me show all those vegetables, some of them are ours, but the majority of them, I mean, we farm very small acreage.
Okay.
And the farms that I go out to, they're large vegetable growers, and they're very good friends of ours, the Schusters, and, there's just so many more. Mm-hmm. And they allow me on their farm, and to see them lose that entire crop, it is hurtful and it is painful. But at the same time, they know that there's nothing that they can do about it but pray and keep going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We have a good Lord, but I want to, Michelle, ask you, tell me, did you learn anything today in California?
Yeah, I did. I learned a lot. There's so much differences between Texas and California, yet there's so many, similarities.
Okay.
And I've never seen an almond bloom.
It's beautiful.
I'm the basic, girl.
Yeah.
I got to watch my words there. But I'm the basic, girl out there in the orchard taking pictures. It's something that I think everyone should see. It's really beautiful.
It is. When we'll go, me and my wife or whoever, on a trip, and you talk to people, and where do almonds come from? Is it on a tree? Is it in the ground? No, it's on a tree.
They don't know.
Yeah, and so I'm glad you got to experience that. What about the Ag Center? What did you get to learn? You're wearing an Ag Center hat. You're repping good. That's great.
Yeah, that was going to be my next thing that I learned, is that I think that the Ag Center, through talking to everyone today and all your affiliates and the people who are involved, it's like one big family. And I learned that you're not just a business, that y'all are a family, and that everyone that works for you and with you are all out for one purpose, and that's for taking care of each other. And I think that the world needs more of that. I think that there's a lot of people who are out for themselves and for their own dollar in their own pocket. And through talking to everyone today, and when we were filming for the show, you see that genuine comment come out of their mouth, and they mean it. They're not just putting on a show. And to me, that's heartfelt, and that says a lot about a business. And I really like what y'all are doing.
The Ag Center, to me personally, and I'm biased, right, because I'm one of the founders of it. It's a special place, right, and we're welcoming to people like yourself. We enjoy educating. We enjoy being part of an education. Mm-hmm. We enjoy learning. I've learned a lot today. I'm open-minded to that. Yeah. I'm liberal in that mindset. We enjoy getting to, we got to, I say, break bread, have lunch today, and to learn about you, Aaron, and just.
Yeah, Aaron's awesome. I've got to give him.
Yeah, tell us about Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron's a huge part. Without Aaron, I wouldn't have anything. He is my backbone. I don't know where he is. He's supposed to be in here, but Aaron is awesome.
Aaron, why don't you come up here?
Yeah, come on.
For anybody watching on YouTube.
Yeah, I've got it. Like your workers are your family, and I feel like he doesn't get enough recognition because without Aaron, I would have.
You probably should go give her
Yeah.
a hug, though, because she loves you.
I do love him. He's my family.
I care about you too.
I would have absolutely nothing, and I don't know anyone who's listening to this who's running a business, but you know that you can't do it yourself.
100%.
Same thing with my magazine. Without my graphic designer, I'd have nothing. But Aaron is the mastermind behind everything. He makes all the videos look good. I'm just.
And he's very calm and just like, Aaron, do that. Aaron, do this. Let's go there.
Hey,
okay.
I don't dictate him around like that.
No, you don't. I do a little bit like that. But I'm just saying, like, I would say that to him, like, hey, I think that would be good. Calmness.
Yeah.
I'll
he
do
has
it.
To be.
I'll take it
with me.
Yeah, you have the other attitude, but
yeah.
he was awesome today. You guys have an awesome team.
Yeah.
You guys are doing the right thing. I know you have a show, he's got his business, but you're blessing people with your talent.
I wouldn't have a show if it weren't for Aaron. Mm-hmm. And definitely I think God helps y'all cross paths. There was just one time that he showed up on set with someone else that I had hired, and he and I just clicked like that. And there's not a lot of people, I'll be honest, that can handle me for long periods of time. I am high energetic. I am spontaneous. What
do you think, Aaron? Is that true?
Come on. Yeah. You can talk in the microphone and tell everyone.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. Like, we'll be driving down the road, traveling. And every time we travel, there's something that goes wrong. And so yesterday we got off the plane and we're like, holy, nothing went wrong. Like, this is great. And then come to find out we still had a 4-hour drive and we should
I did not know you were going in.
And most people would lose it. And Aaron's like, yeah, whatever. Let's just go. It is what it is.
And that is the beauty of relationships that work together.
Yeah.
That is the beauty, I feel, of the Ag Center. Like right now we're doing this. I have my main man, Sam, Big Daddy, Root, he takes care of the marketing company. I feel really lucky. I just be like, hey, I'm going to throw a podcast. We say that 3 days ago. I show up. Sam takes care of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't know how I feel about that, but I feel really gratitude because everybody just has so many talents. And that's the beauty of the Ag Center. I say, like I was saying today to you, we're the Crimson Tide, the Alabama. We just got guys coming in, recruiting.
Are you calling yourself Coach Saban?
I'm better. No.
And you know what? Who our cheerleaders are? Our cheerleaders are our spouses and our children. We can't forget about them.
My wife is Nick Saban. I'm just, I'm assistant coach. Okay. She is the boss. Actually, my little daughter is the boss.
Yeah.
But we're just blessed, and I keep. People might get tired of what I say, but my employees, I don't consider them my employees. My partners, my friends are just amazing people. And I see you guys have that. I see what you're doing on your social media. I hope people follow her, listen to this, and learn something from what you're doing. I want to thank you again for today.
Yeah.
We're going to have a great relationship moving forward. We're going to move this. Maybe I'll be in Texas soon.
Yes.
Maybe I can buy a piece of farm ground out there or do something.
Hey.
Yeah. Might as well try it, right? But you don't want outsiders coming in,
Yeah. No, we're welcoming to everyone.
Yeah.
Texas is a state full of love.
Yeah. But I got to have a place to go get cowboy boots, right?
That's right.
I want to cheers to you. This is a toast. I want to bless all you guys. Aaron, I know you don't have one with you right now, but thank you guys. Thank you again, Michelle Martin and Aaron. I don't know your last name. What is it?
I don't know.
He doesn't know either.
Trevino.
Trevino.
Or for the Spanish speakers, Trevino.
Trevino.
Hey, you tried.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're out.